Hello, everybody of the Soapy Fork YouTube channel. This is take 3. I'm very tired of doing this. Welcome to the Evil Jar podcast. I am joined by my friend Rise
Hello.
and my friend Josh, who just finished a long sentence without me realizing my microphone was off.
Hey,
And we're going to talk about random stuff on this podcast. It starts off with a different topic every time, and we're just going to switch around whenever we get bored of talking about one thing, and just it'll gradually shift with the tide of the conversation. So I fired up a random word generator to see what comes up, and credit. So I guess let's talk money.
Star Wars credit?
Or, yeah, I guess that's a form of money. I guess in-game currency works. We play a lot of video games together.
Got Battlefront 2. So we've been squatting up on that. That's pretty fun.
some Ewok hunt.
Ewok Hunt is definitely one of the better modes in Battlefront 2.
It's very underrated.
It is highly underrated. If you think Battlefront 2 is anything like the Battlefront 2 when it first came out, it has changed a hell of a lot.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
bullshit loot box system has been upgraded to be way better. You don't get star cards
No
anymore,
idea.
so it's not like you just pay to win. It is much more you pay to get the cool skin, aka the 501st Legion skin that I'm pissed off that Rise got, but I didn't.
The Assault and Separatist skins. Let's go. I have so much credits, it's like actually bad. I'm just waiting for the next update to come out so that we can get more skins, but I don't know.
Day 1 of me coming back to Battlefront 2, I made the best purchase of my entire life. I went to my Count Dooku and bought the exquisite pajamas. I hadn't even played Count Dooku yet, and I bought the exquisite pajamas.
I gotta say, I think the pajamas made your skills, heighten a lot more. So
We wouldn't have won any of the rounds we did if I wasn't using the exquisite pajamas. Am I right, Josh?
We didn't win any rounds.
no, you're right. Josh wasn't there when we first played. No.
When we first
But
played,
when Julian and I played, we were kicking.
you have
we
no
were
idea.
Wow.
We just went.
I guess I.
You weren't there
Never
for
mind.
it. We played against a. The first round we played against a team of absolute fucking pussies. One of them was the Luke Skywalker because apparently Luke Skywalker is
And
that
this podcast got demonetized.
and
Demonetized
Disney has
button.
claimed our podcast. Thank you.
Sorry,
This is
this
big
just
play.
went from a family-friendly podcast to like 34 and over. Sorry, guys.
Are we like? Is it cool if we just like curse in this? Like we're chilling, right?
Yeah,
We're not
no, we're I can bleep out the swears if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna do that.
like a 6-year-old here, but
You just limited. I mean, yeah, it's fine. We just limit like.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not-
I'll
listeners.
definitely keep it to a minimum as
I'm-
much as I can.
I'm not allowed on YouTube Kids anymore after what happened.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
what
I d-
happened?
Well, yeah, wait,
We
what?
don't talk about Desert Storm. We don't talk about Desert Storm.
Operation Desert Storm.
Isn't that like a actual thing?
Yeah, that was an actual military mission. No, what happened was that I was swearing a lot in my live streams, constant streams of fuck and shit, usually with fuck put before shit.
Right.
Sometimes I go full on angry video game nerd and say I'd rather blow I'd rather use a raccoon as a blow dart, using his ass to as the place where I put my mouth.
Okay, well,
gotta
now
say-
we definitely limited our audience.
And now we're definitely demonetized. No,
Angry Video Nerd has so many like abstract ways of cursing. It's like incredible.
yeah, it's
I love that guy.
it blows my mind how well James Rolfe writes his jokes. Like, but you know what it
He
is?
was like the OG Deadpool, really.
Yeah, you know what it is though. He's a filmmaker more than he is the angry video game nerd. And I've
Is
checked
he
out.
like so he like actually directs his stuff while starring in it?
Yeah, he's the director.
cool.
He's obviously the producer of this, but he has a lot of friends who help him out. Mike Matei. So it'd basically be like Josh would be James Rolfe. I'd be Mike Matei because I'd just be helping him. I wouldn't really be doing a lot of this shit unless it comes to like a little bit of script writing here and there. And then
Why does Josh get to be the angry critic in there?
because Josh actually makes movies and I don't.
Okay.
How?
Movies, quote, if you can call them movies. They're
Yeah,
like
if you can call YouTube.
Josh made a
videos.
cool short movie called Food for Thought, now available on YouTube. Have you
Well,
seen that, Julian?
Shameless
I
plug.
haven't actually. I'm a little
Pretty
pissed
good,
off
I
at
like it a
myself. Josh should be
Hey.
pissed off at me.
Julian, have you seen Literal?
No,
Oh, literal, it's good. I was in
haven't.
that.
I haven't
1 minute
seen
film.
like.
That's the one that Rise was in. That's just a short 1 minute film about littering.
I
But
see.
but it's not what you think. Like, yeah, it's not just like don't litter. It's like a cool spin on it. If that makes sense.
You know what? Speaking of littering, you know what really? I'm gonna unleash my inner Peter Griffin here. You know what really grinds my gears?
Littering.
Littering. People who litter piss me off, but that's
Yeah,
besides
same.
the point. Like people who
It's
litter.
What an asshole.
I'm sorry to everybody who litters. Actually,
Literally
I'm
be in the
not. If you litter, you're a fucking asshole. Like there's no.
Yeah.
There's literally
It's
no.
ridiculous.
There's no reason not to litter, and yet you're fucking
Wait,
doing it.
what? There's no reason not to litter.
Wait a minute.
Too mad.
There's no reason
Hold
never
up.
not to litter.
Rebooting.
You just screwed.
Windows
Dun, 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 dun.
Windows
Sorry,
XP has shut down. There is no reason to. There's no reason to litter, and yet you're fucking doing it. Why?
Yeah,
These
it's
people are
it's really
lazy and inconsiderate.
I will admit
I
that
think
people
it's
are
more
lazy and people
inconsiderate
are
than
inconsiderate. I think it. I feel like a lot of I've littered when I was like 6, but I don't litter. I don't litter anymore, because I have fucking pockets that
I had a phase when I was like in middle school because middle school was just the worst, and your inner demons come out during middle school. But I think I had a phase where I like littered a little bit, but like it was like really dumb.
Do you
Like,
know
I threw,
what's
like, a
worse
can or
than?
something.
Do you guys know what's worse than that, or like almost as bad?
Worse than littering?
worse than
Yeah.
littering. Kicking your dog.
Well, not quite that bad in my opinion, but vandalism, just like, especially in like,
Kinda
nah,
meh.
dude, especially.
I like
okay.
graffiti art.
Graffiti art.
No,
I feel like there's a difference between
that's-
vandalism and art. Like
Yes,
there are people
I'm
who
not talking
vandalize
about
graffiti
about
art.
art.
Like,
I'm talking about like you tag your name on like a hiking, like, dude, especially what
Okay,
gets
yeah,
me super
sacred
mad
ground
is
and-
when they carve their name into trees. I hate that.
I
It's
don't,
like you do not own that tree. No, dude,
I don't
come
think it's
on.
that
Agree,
bad.
Are
but
you
like
joking?
also like what trees are we talking? If it's like a really well-known tree, then that's kind of annoying.
No,
but
I mean just like any tree. Like I don't want to
tree
see
will
your
live.
name on nature. No, it's like not about
I
that.
guess
It's
You
like
know,
I don't want to
the-
see it.
the R and heart, whatever, you know. It's like it's
I
like
mean,
aw.
I can kind of understand why people do
I don't
it.
know.
I mean, I'd ask you why are you bringing a knife on a date, but that's besides the
I
point.
just hate it.
Just a disclaimer,
I
I'm
can
not. I don't hate trees. Okay, I'm just saying.
Just a disclaimer: I do hate trees.
What the? Why? No reason. I hate trees.
I- You know what it
The
is?
most
It's
random
the
hate
color
ever.
green. It pisses me off. I hate to see the color green. Every time I see it,
Green
I
really
want to
grinds my gears.
strangle a toddler.
What?
That's what
I
happens
actually
every
like
time.
green a lot.
That's what happens every
we're
time I
joking.
see the color green. Every time I see the color green, I go to the nearest I go to the nearest fertility clinic and I strangle a toddler.
Okay. Okay.
That's how I get over seeing the
Julian.
color green, and we are once again demonetized.
We're
We
not
have
only
unleashed Julian.
demonetized at this point. We have created a very niche audience that will tolerate our content. Like there's like
Hey,
maybe
that's,
4 people.
The
Uh,
niche
that's
audience,
listening.
Josh, let you in on the niche audience. It's you, me, Rise, and Jobim. Because Jobim's probably going to watch this and say, why
I don't
didn't you
even
guys...
think Joe Beam would hear this thing all the way through without being like, I don't like this.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It's
sure
just,
Joe...
like
it was okay.
offensive.
But here's my thing, right? Jobim is probably going to want to be in on the next episode of this if he does see it. Just because
cool.
this is like the Friends
Guest.
podcast. Oh
The
God,
guest
no,
Jobim.
no! I said it. I said the dreaded name of the sitcom,
What?
Friends. So let's talk sitcoms
Oh.
for a second.
I don't have
Oh, wait,
anything
copyright.
against Friends. I just don't know like that much about it.
I told you.
Here's my top 5 sitcoms. We did another top 5 in the last one that we refused to post because it was bad. My top 5 sitcoms. Number 5.
Sorry.
Number 5, Seinfeld. Number 4, Seinfeld. Number 3, Seinfeld. Number 2, Seinfeld. Number 1, Seinfeld. It's all Seinfeld because Seinfeld's the only sitcom I can really tolerate without being like, okay,
agree.
this is literally just canned laughter, the
Completely
TV
agree.
show. Like,
When I've tried
Yeah,
to
me too.
watch like 3 other sitcoms, like, do you know what's horrible? The
Full
fucking
House?
Big
Yeah,
Bang.
I know.
No, the fucking Big Bang Theory. Dude.
Big Bang
It's
Theory
like
is
the
pretty
worst
awful.
shit in the world.
You know, when they started, it wasn't too bad, but now
Bazinga.
it's really bad.
this
Now
is
it's like, oh my.
There's just
God.
laugh tracks over nothing.
this is
Like
this
the
is
guy
what
like looks around and then it's like,
this
like,
is what
what-
this is what
what-
Big Bang
what?
Theory is. Big Bang Theory is just this. My name's Sheldon. Bazinga. What's
Then-
that? Bazinga. I'm going to play video game. Bazinga. Penny, please have sex with me.
Yo,
Bazinga.
Penny is fire though. I'm not
I'm-
gonna lie.
Penny wouldn't
I
have
don't
sex
even
with
know
me.
any of the
Bazinga.
characters.
I'm going
Penny
to
is
commit
the girl.
suicide. Bazinga. I'm going
You
to
know
drink
what's a
this
good-
glass of water.
Okay.
Bazinga.
Okay.
Alright.
That's literally
Julian, no
the
take.
this is the entire show of just Sheldon says something, Bazinga. That's the show. And somehow
Sheldon
it made
exists.
a spin-off. Who makes a
Young
spin-off
Sheldon.
of Big Bang Theory? I knew it was going to be about
Did you know that? It's like a TV show. It's very weird. I just don't get it.
it's a child sitcom. It's like if you've ever
You know
seen
it's a good
A
show
sitcom though.
that's
There's no like laugh
related
tracks. It's like a.
to
It's very
Seinfeld
weird.
though. Hey guys.
Curb Your
You know
Enthusiasm.
what's- Yes.
I heard Curb Your Enthusiasm is really good. I actually haven't
It's
seen it
really
yet.
good. It's really good. You should definitely see it. Basically, it's just
Alright.
about like Larry David's life and just like it's okay. It's essentially the same humor as Seinfeld. Like it's commenting on the same like stupidity of like just like
It's about nothing.
what I mean, it's not about nothing, but you know
about
how
complaining.
like yeah, you know how like Seinfeld will just like make fun of just like the like dumbest things. It's like
Oh.
why would Jerry care about like if a like this hot woman does some like retarded ass thing? It's just like no one gives a
Seinfeld's
shit. Like
so
she's
great.
you know? And
Sein-
so yeah.
That's what makes Seinfeld so great, though. It's like Seinfeld
No, right.
is an
Relatable.
No,
amazing.
dude, that's why everyone loves that show. And yeah, so basically, Curb has that kind of same sense of humor, but it's just about like Larry's life, and he's just like this like old man too. So it's just like really funny.
Well, you know,
I would definitely look into it.
Seinfeld was obviously made by both Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David, but
Yeah.
Larry David, for starters, Kramer was based off of an actual person that supposedly was just as nuts as Kramer in the show. Like Kramer acted a little more
That's
like a
hilarious.
character, but all like his enthusiastic vibe, the way that he'd literally do anything without thinking about the repercussions of it. the way
Right.
he was just acting out of like pure, just initial reaction instead of anything else. Apparently, that was all like one of Larry David's neighbors, and that's where the idea for Kramer was born.
It's funny. The way he just bursts through
Isn't
the
George
door.
supposed to be like Larry actually?
George is supposed to be Larry, and
That makes sense.
because if you think about it, like Larry David portrays himself very much through George, and even in the few clips of Curb Your Enthusiasm that I've seen, Larry
Yeah,
David
no.
actually comes out very much like George.
Yeah, it's very like you can tell that he made Seinfeld when you watch the show. And also, yeah, I mean, it makes sense that that would be him because George is probably like my favorite character in
George is great.
Seinfeld.
Fire!
I
Fire!
mean, he's just the best. He's like the biggest asshole and the biggest idiot at the same time.
He's hilarious. He's really funny. Sitcoms.
So how'd your first date go, George? I'll tell you how it went. She's bald.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Have you guys seen the one about the like he basically like lies to this chick and he says that he's a like
He says he's a marine
he
biologist,
says
right?
yeah exactly he says he's a fucking marine biologist and then
No.
there's a fucking like whale and he's giving CPR to the whale. Have you guys not seen that one?
So I
Jeez,
was at
what?
the beach, and I was looking at the whale, and then I realized that it looked like he was choking. So I reached inside of his blowhole, and I found this. He holds up
Yeah.
a fucking golf ball that
Yeah, I
Kramer.
mean we kind of just like spoiled the entire thing, but yeah.
we spoiled the joke of it, but you know what? The show's been over for at
Yeah, at
least
this
like
point.
20
30
years.
Oh yeah,
It's been over for like 20 years. If you haven't seen Seinfeld, well, you're just missing out.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't seen every single one, but I'd
Me
say
neither.
I've seen.
You
the,
don't
like,
need to see
majority.
every single episode of Seinfeld. Like, if you ask me, you can skip like a really, really good portion of the first season because it doesn't really pick up until like season 3. That's when they really start to write their jokes
Yeah.
a lot better.
I don't know. I personally like just like most of them just scattered throughout every season. I don't really like pick seasons, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. You know what? Now that I think about it, there's a lot of sitcoms I actually like. I was making fun of the sitcom
What happened
genre.
to 5 Seinfeld, 4 Seinfeld?
You know what? That was a
God.
bit more of a bit, if anything. But the more that I think about it, like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
The Office. How the fuck can I forget that?
that's
I-
not really a
That's not really a
sitcom.
sitcom.
It's a situational comedy.
I would consider that a mockumentary.
I thought sitcoms are like with the laughing tracks.
They
right?
don't
Um,
always
Isn't that
have
kinda
to be.
classified?
They don't have to, but yeah, Julian, honestly, I wouldn't consider The Office a sitcom. It is a situation comedy, but it's also supposed to be like a documentary, so it's like a mockumentary.
I'm
Like-
looking it up on what's it called? I want to.
Office could classify as a sitcom.
I'm looking it up on IMDb. Genre. Where the fuck does it say the genre? It's definitely a comedy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh God,
because-
Friends. I hate Friends so much. I just don't like it.
I saw this funny thing where it's like Friends, but without the laughing track. It's terrifying. It's like this. You guys gotta watch it on YouTube.
It's
so funny.
genuinely really stupid.
And it's like this guy, and he's like doing a job interview, and he looks like he's gonna kill the interviewer. It's like so funny and like terrifying. Like it's like, but without the laughing tracks, it's like so weird. It's really
Right.
You know what? I feel like a lot of it is a mockumentary. A lot of the plot keywords say it's a sitcom, but the genre is comedy more than anything. Cringe comedy. I feel like that's kind of true. The reason why
What
The
is?
Office
Yeah, it
Office
is.
is a
Oh,
bit
yeah.
of a cringe comedy Because
I
some
agree.
of some of the situations that a lot of the characters are put in just make you. It kind of makes you sink down a
The
little bit.
definition
Like,
of cringe.
uh, this is
I
getting a
mean,
little too personal
in my
for me,
opinion,
anyways.
the reason I think The Office is so good is just because you know everyone so well, and it just like makes sense the
They
way
build
they're.
character very
The
well.
writers of The
Yeah.
Office did an amazing job of creating like a very good, just creating characters absolutely amazing, where they don't
Yeah,
have to
it's
be
just
And
like
it's also you gotta get credit to the actors too. I mean, Steve Carell's amazing.
no, I
He
mean
he nails that weird boss
it's
character
just
so well.
it's just the perfect combination of writing, acting, just like set design. Yeah,
Like,
it's
you know,
Set,
obviously,
you know
I
what?
everything
know-
works.
The set design, I wouldn't exactly say it's that amazing because it's just
No, but
it's
dude-
your standard
But that's
office.
like the point.
It's hard
No,
to
but the thing
fuck
is
up
that
an
it's
office.
so perfect. It's so perfect how dull it is, and like all of the like sounds, like all of the like phone ringing, and the way it's like edited, and the way like with the like shaky vibe, like it's just like yeah.
You know
I
what?
don't
If you like The Office, there's a really good movie called Office Space. It's made by Mike Judge, who,
Oh,
if you don't
didn't
know,
he make
he made King of the Hill, Idiocracy,
and Beavis and Butthead too?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wrote and directed Office Space, and this movie was absolutely amazing. Just because it's a wacky movie just about like offices and what it's like to work in there, and it's the main character just wants to shoot himself because of how life draining it is working in the office, and I feel like the office kind of nails that, where it's like you can tell everybody they put on like a bit of a fake smile for the acting situations in the office, and that's what I love about the show. Like they really nail down what it's like to work in an office building and want to basically
Everyone like hates each other, but everyone also secretly like loves each
Yeah.
it's an everyday office relationship. You don't speak against your boss because you don't want to get fired. You hate the guy next to you, but you know you can't say anything or else you're going to get it written up by HR. You love a girl, but you know you can't do anything about it because you're going to get written up by HR. And all the fun that you can have has to be done outside of work. And you better not do any of the things that would get you written up by HR. That's what I see a lot of it of
It's
just
all
like
Toby's fault.
it's just all working in an office and how basically being in an office kind of sucks. And you can tell that like all the acting is done in a way of like it's an office worker kind of lifestyle. They're work friends. You don't see a lot of them hanging out with each other outside of work, and when they do, it feels a bit out of place. Like they're still trying to be work friends. They're still trying to maintain like a level of professionalism. If
Yeah.
that makes any fucking sense.
No, I get it. But also, I gotta say, like, it's like crazy because, like, I know that John Krasinski and Jenna are obviously not like dating in real life, but like, man, their actor chemistry,
They nailed
it's
it.
insane. Like, they just like I have yet to see another, like, love story in like any kind of film that like captures that to me. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I honestly like following their journey feels real to me. Like it's insane. Like no other movie has done that or like a TV show.
and
It's
yeah,
like
and
they
I
just like
actually-
nail that connection, and it's so beautiful to watch.
I actually saw an interview with Jenna Fisher, and she said like yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't hard to act like I actually liked John because they just
Yeah.
like naturally kind of like had that thing, like
Yeah, it's like
They
insane that
basically
they're
weren't
not
really acting.
real. Yeah. No, yeah, of course,
know.
but like it's like crazy that they're not like married, like and like I like what's her face, what's her
Emily
name?
Blunt.
That Emily Blunt. Yeah, Emily Blunt's cool, and
They all-
you know.
They all
John
do a
seems
really
very happy.
amazing job of acting in, like, it feels to me like they just hired the right cast to do basically every single part. Dwight is your stereotypical asshole guy who
Dwayne,
only cares.
Rain Wilson. Wait, is that his name? Yeah, Wayne Wilson, right?
Yeah,
Rain.
he only gives a shit about the job. He doesn't really
Right.
care about anything else. Obviously, Steve Carell, they hired him to be the weird, goofy character. And a lot of the people, they just hired an amazing cast to do it. Of just like, you have your everyday working man, you have your normal person that the audience can relate to, and you just have the rest of the weird, goofy characters to go along with
One of
it.
my favorite underrated characters, I guess, which she's not super underrated, but Angela, her actress, like she is
Angela's amazing.
hilarious. She has these small lines. I don't know if this is spoiler territory, but in the dinner party episode, like it's small lines, so it doesn't really matter. But man, like when she like comes into like the dinner party, like she just has these small lines that are so freaking hilarious. That's like in the background, and like it's just so funny. Like they're playing charades at one point, and Michael is his thing is Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Mhm.
And he's like saying like, "Oh, the Terminator," and like giving away like what it is, right? But like Angela's like an idiot, and she's just like, "Those aren't helpful hints." It's like so funny. Like just her small lines in the background are so hilarious, and just makes it all the more like I don't know, just real and like adds to the atmosphere of the like scene, you know?
Yeah,
And like
no,
she like walks into the door, and Jan is like hugging Andy, and then like Michael goes in to hug Angela, and she's like, "No, no."
no,
It's like so good.
The show's amazing. Like that scene was that scene was awesome. And you know what? I feel like if we're talking about TV shows and movies, let's make a rule. If it's been less than 5 years since the movie or TV show has been out, who gives a shit about spoilers? It's your fault for not watching it.
Yeah.
Because the
It's
Office
been like
ended.
7.
It's been exactly 7 years. Actually, no, closer to about 6 years, but still. It's been about 7 years since The Office has ended. If you haven't seen it and you're worried about spoilers, what the fuck are you worried about? Everybody's seen the show. I've seen it, and I was a little reluctant to watch it since I don't really like The Office's comedy at first that much.
Yeah.
And I can say The Office is definitely like Seinfeld in that way of, in the very beginning of the show, they didn't really know what they were doing that well.
Season 1 was pretty weird, I gotta say.
mean,
Season 1 was a little crappy.
But I still
I
like
thought The Office. I mean, honestly, I saw the first episode like years ago, and then when I started watching it again, I just started from episode 2. So I actually don't even remember what the first episode
Dude,
is.
episode 1
I'm pretty
still
sure
funny. I like it
It's
a lot.
just Ryan, right? Like I'm pretty sure it's just like Ryan
Well,
is.
It introduces to the characters, you know, and I don't know, I still like it a lot because to me I feel like season 1 was like when things were really awkward. You know what I mean? Like that's like the most cringe you get in The Office, you know, like because Michael is so like awkward and he's just like acting so cool.
The entire show is just like awkward scenes, but that's what I love about in The Office. It's just
Michael walking away from Pam's desk. Shush, 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 shush.
exactly.
Like it's so like yeah, God, it's just too good.
The other thing I love about yeah, it's just like I love how the show just like how certain characters can just change so much. Like fucking Ryan, dude. That's like the
Character development's
craziest
great.
arc I've seen in the world. Like he literally
Yeah,
went from
Ryan's
a
thing's
10
great.
Dude, he literally okay.
Yeah.
This is like spoiler alert, but we kind of already
We've
said,
established that
Yeah.
if it's over a certain period of time, who gives
Yeah.
a shit? It's
Okay.
your again. If you're listening to this at home and you haven't seen The Office, it's been 7 years. It's your fault if you haven't seen it and you're just now going, no, spoiler alert.
we're
I'm not
alienating
leaving-
like a lot of people still. But it's okay.
I'm not
Anyways.
leaving any time. I'm not leaving any spoiler alert timestamps.
Well,
so
okay,
you get
hold
to
on.
listen to the whole thing.
Here's the thing though, is like on the topic of spoilers, like I hate people that spoil stuff. You know, to me that's just the worst.
Okay.
Like,
You know
'cause,
what?
Like, I don't know.
It's debatable with me, because here's the thing. It's really, really hard not to spoil something when it's in pop culture. Like,
Yeah, but
Last
if we're
night,
making
I
a
saw-
podcast, we could just say spoiler alert.
last night, I saw Back to the Future for the first time. Like,
Really?
Really?
yeah, I know.
Wow.
Wow.
I
That's
knew
amazing.
the only part of Back to the Future that I was genuinely surprised about is that Doc Brown dies in the beginning. Like, I didn't know that. I knew that Doc Brown's in the movie. I know about all the Great Scott references. I know about the DeLorean. I know about Lorraine being in love with Marty.
Wait, Doc Brown? What?
Doc Brown gets shot in the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, but
Oh, okay. I thought you
Yes.
said the
Okay.
end. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. In the end, he gets shot too, but he wears the
that's
bulletproof
because
vest.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
just making sure.
I know, I
Just
know.
like, wait.
Like every single
That
fuck.
was the wrong movie.
Every reference that could have ever been made about Back to the Future has already been made, and I don't care about the spoilers. Now, what I would care about is if somebody ruined, I don't know, Birds of Prey for me. Like, that movie, I'd be
I
pissed
haven't
off.
seen that yet.
I haven't seen it
Yeah.
either, but that's like a movie that's still really recent. So it's kind of
Yeah, I
like
I feel like
The
that shit
Office,
just flew
where
right by.
there's The Office
Okay.
has. It's one of those things where it's so hard not to spoil it because of how relevant it is in culture. Like,
Okay. With that being
I
said,
haven't finished. So.
spoiler alert. Yeah,
With that
and
being
also
said,
I haven't
spoiler
finished
alert.
it.
So I don't.
So
So
Then
I don't
let-
want to be a hypocrite.
let's
so
not-
I don't know.
Rise, let's not tell him about the ending, because
I don't know the end. I don't know the end.
Rise
Just-
hasn't
I
seen the ending.
what the?
I haven't seen the end.
How have I gotten further than you guys?
Julian, have you actually seen
Dude,
the
I'm-
whole thing?
I know how it ends, and it ends really good.
No, but have you seen the
Yeah.
like full thing, like
I've
every single episode?
I skipped some filler. Like
Oh,
just
okay. I mean, there's not really any filler, but
no, just like
Everything's kind of a filler.
small scenes that don't really need to be watched. I kind of just skipped over because like
anyways,
there were some
Gosh.
really dumb jokes that I knew where they were going with. Like I already knew the punchline to it, so why the fuck do I care?
okay.
What?
Anyways, back to what I was saying though. I just love I love how the characters who go from like rock bottom to the top to back to rock bottom. For example, again,
Right.
spoiler alert, because I'm sorry, I just don't agree with that, Julian. When Ryan literally starts as a temp, and then he becomes like the head of Dunder Mifflin,
Corporate.
and then
He was in
yeah,
corporate.
like he basically gets into corporate,
Yeah,
and
no.
then he just comes back down because he like had a
He did
drug
some shady
problem
shit.
and like all that shit. Like he did some like shady shit, and yeah, and then it's just like, and then
And then-
now,
Michael wants to hire him again.
yeah, and then
It's-
Michael wants to hire him again because he's an
Like,
idiot, and then
why?
the fucking Michael Scott Paper Company, which was like the most
I
hilarious
love
little
that.
like sub
They were great, yeah.
episodes in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those were all really good episodes. They make an amazing story. They make amazing story arcs that go really good with each other. But my favorite part about The Office is that you can see one episode without really knowing much about the characters. Like if I were to jump into, I don't know, season 6, episode 15, I could watch the entire thing and be like,
That was
oh,
like so specific.
well,
Agree and I don't know. I agree and disagree with that because the thing is
I
I feel
rolled
like
the dice on my computer and that's what came up. So, fuck you.
I mean I don't know. I like the thing is it's like I feel like you can kind of come in at the middle, but like also like I feel like a lot of people don't like The Office because people don't really like get it. You know, like it's like there are
It's-
still some soap opera elements to it that people don't understand. Like yeah, you can kind of just watch random episodes, but like sometimes you might be a little confused. I think yeah, you
there's
can.
well you have to
but-
remember
I
something
actually
too. There
don't
is
agree. Like
there's
at all.
overarching elements in Seinfeld as well. Like Mulva, that's a reoccurring joke. Susan's character is a reoccurring thing that you kind of need to know a little bit more about. A lot of the relationships between Elaine and her different boyfriends. That's
Yeah,
that's the story.
And
Every
also,
single
like
every
development.
sitcom
You know,
has
like-
development. Every sitcom has an overarching story over all of it. But what makes a
The
sitcom?
Office is like kind of a lot, and like people don't
I feel
really.
like
I
also
feel
Seinfeld more so because like when George gets the job at the like Mets, like if you didn't know that for like a
Like,
while,
people don't
then
really
you
get
First
it. Like
off-
when they see like Pam and Jim's relationship, and they're just like, "Yeah, what's so special about it?" I'm like, guys, you don't know. You know what I mean? I'm like, you don't know how far they've come from. You know what I mean?
I think
Like-
so. Hold on. First of all, Josh, he worked for the Mets. I'm a little offended because I'm a Mets fan, and in this house we don't talk about the other
probably
guys.
not the
We don't talk
it's
about the
what?
other team from New York.
Yankees.
Yeah,
Yankees,
there we go.
Right? Yeah. Sorry. Anyways,
We don't want some
yeah,
Yankee
I
loving
don't
bastard
like
with the
follow. I don't follow baseball.
Mets. But
But,
anyways, there was another point I wanted to get to. The thing that makes any sitcom good is the mixture of story element of like soap opera elements and comedy. In order for somebody to want to get into a sitcom, they have to like the episode and think it's very funny enough to keep watching it. And then over time, they get hooked in with the soap opera elements of just like, I want to find out what happens to Pam. I want to find out if Dwight ever changes a little bit. I want to see what Michael does next because he's just unpredictable that way. That's how it works. Like, that's what made Seinfeld amazing. That's what made The Office amazing. And that's what made Friends really shitty because it didn't really have much of that. They were a
so did
blank
you
slate.
change your like view then?
I did. I very much
I'm
changed
like-
my view
Oh,
because
okay.
I didn't really. When we were in Hawaii, I said I didn't really like The Office that much, and now I'm saying
No. I was talking about because like at first you said like yeah you can go to like any random one and like
no,
be
you
fine,
can
but then
you
now
can
you're
go.
like-
No, my point is you can go to any random one and see it and enjoy the episode for just being a solo episode. But you can also enjoy the entire series for having the different elements of story in it. I feel like the story isn't overbearing. Kind of. All right,
I
let's.
feel like people underestimate how much it is. Like
No,
that,
hold
though,
on, hold
you know?
on. You're right. People do underestimate how much there is.
'Cause, like,
but
there
they
is
do.
a lot. Like,
There's a lot, but wouldn't you say it's on the same level of like Breaking Bad, where you watch a single episode
No,
of
it's
Breaking
not.
No,
It's
Bad?
but
not like a
dude, it's
story.
not supposed to be like that. Like it's supposed
No,
to be
you're right.
a comedy.
It's supposed.
But
Well, I guess
for
Breaking
me-
Bad was a bad example, but what's a good comedy show?
No. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It's. Hold on, I have to go on IMDb because unfortunately, comedies nowadays suck. Television has been really bad as of recently. I can't find any good television shows that I
Like
want to watch.
Supergirl.
Oh god.
Yeah. for
Super-
me personally,
Planet
like I
Earth
couldn't.
2, Planet Earth 1, Band of Brothers, Breaking Bad, Chernobyl, Blue Planet 2, The Wire.
Breaking Bad's amazing.
No good comedies. Okay,
Breaking Bad's not a comedy. Also-
Breaking Bad, the comedy.
Breaking Bad with Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory.
He changes routes.
Planet Earth 1 and 2 are like the opposite of a comedy. That's just like a nature doc.
Vietnam War.
But
Okay, maybe there aren't that many good comedy shows. I feel like pretty much every single comedy is a sitcom nowadays.
a good comedy movie, Austin.
Go
Powers, if you guys
fuck
haven't
yourself, IMDb.
seen. What?
Say Austin
They
Powers
rated
is over-
Friends.
What?
Dude,
Yeah.
they rated
I
Friends
was
over
about to be like-
Seinfeld.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't.
Now I'm
give a
pissed.
Shit about what.
Now
They
I am fucking.
think. Anyways,
pissed.
back
Dude,
to like
Oh,
back
God.
to The Office though. My personal opinion is like I couldn't really imagine like watching The Office just like randomly. Like I have to kind of watch it in order because I feel like what makes it so good is that you like learn.
Wait, so you
the
agree with me?
characters. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
No.
said what?
No, Josh
Yeah.
agrees with you completely. I agree
Yeah.
with
No,
you.
I've
agree with you
I've
somewhat,
always
but
been on your side.
yeah,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Although I will say this that Okay, so you guys haven't watched this show. I actually have. This seems like a show Josh would actually like. Have you seen Cobra Kai or no?
No.
No.
That is, it's a spin-off series of the Karate Kid, and it's supposed to
Yeah.
follow off the story of Johnny Lawrence instead of Ralph Macchio's character, Jack LaRusso. Or sorry, Daniel LaRusso. Why the fuck did I say Jack?
Mm-hmm.
But it is a comedy, and there is a hell of a lot of it's a drama as well. So in order to really get into the series, you have to see it from the very beginning.
Dramedy.
It is, and that's where I feel like that's where the difference kind of splits off. Of you can watch a single episode of The Office and enjoy the episode and enjoy all the comedy in it and still care about all the characters and still care about all the things that happen to them. But you can also get into the deeper side of the lore of like you can enjoy it. Like honestly, when we watched the first episode of The Office, I couldn't give a shit at all about what happened to any of them. I didn't like any of the characters. I thought that was just because the writing in the very first season wasn't as eye-grabbing. But I actually fell asleep one night in the middle of the first season, and I fell asleep on my PlayStation controller and accidentally skipped to season 3. And one of the louder sound. This was a while ago. I was watching Netflix like super late at night, so I fell asleep on my PlayStation controller because I have it right next to my bed. And I accidentally skipped to like season 3, and
So you've like never watched season 2?
Josh, this was after I finished the entire series.
What?
Oh my god!
You're saying you just like skipped to it.
I skipped to it. I skipped to it while I was asleep, and you know me, I move around in my sleep a lot. But I skipped to it, and I was like, why didn't I start here? This is a lot funnier than season 1, and that's where I started to build a bit more of a liking for the characters. Of like, I get it now.
Wait a second. I'm just so confused. I'm so confused. Wait, so
I liked
this happened the first time that you watched the show, or the second time?
Josh, this was the second time I watched the show because I wanted to rewatch it in the second time because I was just watching random episodes.
If it was the second time, then wouldn't you already know that like season 1 is not good and then just skip?
No, I thought all of it was shitty. Well, not all of it. I thought most of it was shitty. The only seasons I really liked the first time watching it was like season 7 and season 9. Those were like the only seasons I could really tolerate at the time.
I haven't seen 9.
You haven't seen 9?
No, dude. I think we're on. Oh shit.
We're on
I
7.
don't even know what I'm on anymore.
7's a good season.
Yeah.
I'm on.
9's also a really good season. But those were at the time. Those were like the only ones I could tolerate. But honestly, I actually liked it a bit better when I was watching random episodes because the comedy fits a lot better of just like, haha, goofy random humor. Like, that's what a sitcom.
Yeah.
That's what a sitcom should do right when you're first grabbing somebody's attention. That's why the first episode. That's why in the first episode of like every sitcom ever is known as the worst episode because they don't know what they're doing yet. And that's my point of like, if you can watch any episode, if you can watch a random episode of a sitcom and it drags you in, then it's a good sitcom. That's why I never liked Friends or Big Bang Theory.
I'd say that Seinfeld, that definitely does that.
Yeah, Seinfeld does do that. But that's what I'm saying is I don't feel like Office really counts.
Office is a Seinfeld
sitcom.
It's definitely not a Seinfeld. It's not a sitcom. It's a mockumentary.
That's why. Wow, this all just led to that.
This all just led
back to the first question. Is The Office a sitcom? So I think it's a no.
Well, let's talk. So now I want to talk a little bit of shit on a genre of movies that I don't particularly like, or TV shows for that matter. When they're all about this, by the way. When they add elements of it, it's fine. When it's just that, I fucking hate them. Romance movies and romance TV shows, all garbage. Changed my mind.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely think it's a little like not, meant to be taken that seriously, I guess.
I saw Titanic for shits and
Or-
giggles, and I hated it.
Remember, Josh, we watched that one movie about time. That was kind of funny.
That was like a good movie.
Counts as a
Well-
romance movie that I liked a lot.
I kind of refuse to call a whole genre shit because I think that like every genre will have at least one good film in it.
Every
what I'm saying?
genre does have
well,
one
hold
good
on.
film
Hello,
in it.
hello. One movie that counts as a romance movie that I like a lot is Yesterday, actually. 'Cause that's technically a
Oh,
romance
yeah.
movie.
That's true, but I didn't really enjoy the romance aspect of that movie that much. When I saw it, I was like, I thought it was a good integration of it, but I actually considered it more of a music movie, if anything.
Yeah,
Because that is
totally.
totally a movie for like Beatles lovers.
I guess it'd be like a musical.
It definitely would be a
Because
musical.
Yesterday is like no, no, God no.
It wouldn't be a music.
Yesterday is such a beautiful. I feel like it's a love movie for like musicians, you know.
It's more of a feel-good movie, if anything. Shoot. God, does IMDb not have a fucking search by genres option? That's retarded.
Lava Lamp. My Lava Lamp. Just
Ooh boy, IMDb Pro. Who the fuck pays for that shit?
For those who don't know, I actually do music on my own channel, Rise Barkin. But,
Please check out Rise's channel. The link in the description. There will be a link in the description down below.
That's why I'm gonna talk all like musician right now. But yeah, no, Yesterday is I just think it's such a beautiful movie for musicians in general. Just because like they have some things on there that like really like just like speaks, you know, to like the musicians, and like especially when like he plays like those shitty gigs or like nobody shows up, and then there's like this makes me sound really bad, but like if you're a musician, like this has happened to you, you know what I mean? And that's what's so beautiful about the movie is that like it really like captures that element of like, you know, sometimes disappointment. It captures that up and down kind of road to a musician's life, you know. So if anybody's watching this musician, I just highly recommend.
It totally is a. It's totally like a musician's movie. My dad could relate to it. You can relate to it.
And the Beatles aspect of it isn't really like it's obviously a great Beatles movie-ish, but like, you know, I feel like the Beatles part is just the cherry on top to me. You know, like it's like a whole story about like, you know, getting fame and like also having to kind of deceive your way through to it. You know what I mean? And like that's why I love the love story aspect of it too, because at the end he sacrificed his fame to be with the one he loves, and I think that's a
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, because that you should have said spoiler alert, because that movie was super fucking recent, dude. That was literally last year.
I suppose. Yeah,
all right,
you're right.
so
not bad.
I like
But
the record
it's not like a
producer.
fucking.
She's funny.
It's not like an. Oh yeah, he was funny.
He was funny. All of them were hilarious.
Wait, right? Or
Record
am I thinking about? The
Oh
wrong
yeah.
set?
Oh,
like,
I thought you were talking about the
Oh,
engineer.
she.
in the beginning.
I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking
amazing.
about the guy like near the railroad tracks that the love
Tracks
interest
and
starts
tracks.
dating. Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler
All right.
alert.
Hey, you guys want to hear a joke? Game of Thrones is
Yeah.
considered a romance movie on IMDb. How the fuck?
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
To be honest,
Sorry,
neither have I.
everyone watching this. I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I apologize.
Stephanie is
I'm
already.
thinking of actually starting it.
Stephanie's already pissed off at me that I haven't seen Game of Thrones. And
How have we all not seen Game of Thrones? It's like actually insane.
we like.
The thing is, I
I
watched
liked
the like,
Breaking
most
Bad
of the first
more.
season.
You know what it is? I could
Yeah,
get into
same.
Breaking Bad. I feel like Breaking Bad just hooked me more than any episode of Game of Thrones. It's like I know it's based off of a book, and I know they're trying to go by what the novel does, and they do. Supposedly, they do kind of a shitty job of doing that. I'm not sure. I haven't
Wait,
seen it.
Breaking Bad?
No, Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I don't think. I mean, I heard that it was
Yeah,
like
Game of Thrones was
amazing
big.
show.
I heard it's an
no,
amazing
but
show
I think
too,
it's
but
not as accurate to the.
it's not as accurate to the book. Like I know for a fact that Lord of the Rings took a couple of liberties when it came to staying true to the novel, didn't they? Or am I thinking of another?
About Game of
movie?
Thrones is that Emilia Clarke is gorgeous.
All I know is
She
that
is
there
the
is.
best part about it.
All I know is that there is there's a shitload of incest, and if you were to write down every single scene that has incest in the entire series,
Sorry,
you'd write
everyone under the age of 13. If you don't know what incest is, just ask your parents.
you'd have
If you're
you-
under age 13, you shouldn't be watching.
if you are under 13, why are you watching my videos? Shouldn't you be?
Dude, you
shouldn't you
probably
be in
were
school?
watching these types of.
That's
videos.
actually fact.
No,
I
it's
keep
fucking
forgetting how
coronavirus.
not long ago 13, or like I don't know.
All
I
right,
used to watch
Yeah, like,
shitty stuff.
We're
when I was
actually
13.
traumatizing kids.
I don't care. Break them while
My
while they're
God.
young. Break them in while they're young. Let them get used to it.
Forest Fire 101 when I was really young, and that was that introduced me to cursing.
I watched Angry Video
Heavily.
Game Nerd. Also, my parents were from New York,
Yeah.
so cursing. Fuck is my first language. English is my second.
Really teach me that much cursing, which I appreciate. I learned it myself.
I learned it from my dad.
I learned like
Every
most.
time something bad would happen.
I can see Adam doing that.
I remember Morgan told me the story of he called somebody a dick, while they were at Smash, and then Jessica sat him down, and then
Pat him down. What?
Jessica wanted to talk to him
Remember
about
when
because he said that in like first grade or something, and Jessica was concerned about where he learned that from, and he said he learned it from his dad.
So bold.
Remember when Jabim would be like, "You're an ass," call everyone an ass.
He's calling you a
So
donkey. I don't know what that's supposed to do. When I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, I had an amazing swear term to call somebody a donkey. I'd call them, well, not really a donkey, more of a goat. I'd call them a long-eared, flea-bitten son of a Salset goat.
God.
Which
That
for
joke.
anybody who plays Dungeons and Dragons, that is like the best insult you could ever use on one of your friends if you're trying to go for like a character role playing. If not, then they'll have no idea what you're saying. I'm just scrolling through IMDb to take a look at like what shows I've seen and what I can say is good and what I can say is shit. Have any of you seen Parasite yet or no?
Josh has.
Yeah, I
I
have.
I just saw it recently and
Yeah,
I loved it.
Let's not spoil it though.
that-
'cause
this
it's a
w-
really
Watch
good
it.
movie.
This movie was movie
Huh?
of the. This movie was Picture of the Year in 2019. So if you're watching this in the future, or hell, even watching this day of release, please, I urge you to watch Parasite.
Yeah, it's a
I don't
really
want
good
to
movie.
spoil any of it because
guys,
it's
it-
that
That is
amazing.
It's
No.
not. It's not on Netflix or Hulu though. But if you have Vudu, you can rent it for like $5, and it's like really worth it.
Vood.
It's definitely a movie that is worth checking out. Rise, do yourself a favor and watch Parasite.
Yeah.
Well,
Watch
everyone
it
should
soon,
also
Ash.
watch. People should watch Snowpiercer. It's by the same director, and it's
I-
really good.
I
It's on
haven't seen
Netflix, and it's
Snowpiercer.
free.
I'm probably going to
It's
watch that.
starring Chris Evans.
Let's see. So 1917, I just recently saw.
That's also a good movie. It was a little bit like
Again,
I don't
this is
know.
a movie that just recently came out. So let's agree that. Should
Okay.
we include a spoiler alert? Because this wasn't Picture of the Year, but it did get Best Editing.
I'm gonna include
I
a
haven't seen it.
spoiler alert, but I'm not gonna like really spoil anything. I'm just talking about like my like vibe of the film.
I haven't even seen it, so
It's
nor do I really know about it.
so this is a spoiler
Basically-
alert to all the fans out there. I'd skip like a good minute or two ahead. If Josh is still talking about it, then just keep skipping like 10 seconds ahead. That way,
Yeah, I mean,
don't
I'm
hear
not
it,
really
'cause
gonna
this is
like
a-
spoil anything. But
I'd
yeah.
definitely say 1917 is another movie that you should check out if you get a chance. Is it on? Let me see where it's on.
I
if-
saw it in theaters. So
If you want to watch it at home, it is on Nothing. It's on Nothing.
Okay. The thing about 1917 for me is it's like I thought it was a very good film. Like I just generally liked watching it. but it was just I just felt so like depressed as I walked out. You know what I'm saying? Like
it was a very depressing
Julian,
vibe.
like it just like feels like it's just like you're just like in a war. You're just in war for the whole film. It's just like I just like,
Well, I guess they
left
captured it
war.
well then.
It's
They
like
did
all the horrors of war.
They did a really
But-
good job. Like
yeah.
they built in a major spoiler alert. Please skip ahead like at least a good 3 minutes.
Well, if it's
You
super
know what? No,
major,
I'm not.
then
I'm not
I
going
don't
to
think you
say
should
it.
say it.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to say it. Because this movie is definitely worth watching. If you don't intend on watching it, then I'm not. Then go watch a summary of the movie. You'll find it there. I'm not saying it.
Okay.
So definitely, if you get a chance to watch it, audience, take a look at 1917. It is an amazing movie. Sam Mendes did an incredible job of just creating an absolutely amazing movie. The new Sandler movie, Uncut Gems, is also really, really good. I wouldn't say it's as good as any of the other ones. Have you guys seen it or no?
No.
No, but have you guys seen Knives Out?
No, I haven't.
It's also a
No,
really
but
good
Josh
movie.
loves it.
Actually,
That's all I
Knives
know about
Out. Some parts of Knives Out. Okay, how do I explain this? The satisfaction that I got from certain parts of Knives Out remind me of the earlier parts of Parasite.
Really?
So, yeah. So if you just like liked
What?
Parasite, like Knives Out.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it. And now I think it's time to talk about a shitty movie. We've all seen shitty movies in our lives. Don't deny it, you fucking purist. Not you
I'm trying to
guys.
think of like a shitty movie I've watched recently.
I've seen a lot of shitty movies over the years. Oh shit. Solar Opposites. What's this? It's kind of a Rick and Morty-esque show that's going to be on Hulu. Oh fuck. I'm not happy about that.
Oh,
Hulu
you know
has
it was an awful movie.
What?
Like,
Venom.
absolutely awful.
The Lighthouse, because that's what I was going to talk about.
Really?
What?
Have you
I don't
seen
know.
The Lighthouse or no?
I've never seen it.
Okay. This movie.
Cool though, because it's like old-fashioned looking.
I'm going to go on a little rant about The Lighthouse. This movie is a softcore gay porno.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. There's literally a scene where somebody jacks off on another guy's face.
Okay. I hear we go.
Oh god, it's so bad. Let me read off the genres for you. What did this movie get? How did this get a 7.7? How? How in the actual fuck?
Wait, Rise. What was the movie you said was shit?
I was gonna say Dark Phoenix.
Really? I
the
kind of like
X-Men
that one.
movie. No, fam, are you joking?
Do you know it was bad?
That movie was so like it was like
Venom.
offensive. Like I literally like I mean I'm really sorry, Julian, if I'm like raining on your parade here, but
No, I'm
Like,
okay with it. Superheroes
like-
movies are not typically. How do I? Don't get mad at me.
I love
Very-
action
very
movies. I love
rarely,
everything.
very rarely does a superhero movie, when I go to theaters, make me think this movie is going to be an absolute fucking masterpiece. Like
Yeah, no.
the one
but-
that when I walked out of the theater and went, this movie is an absolute fucking masterpiece, is Logan. That's the only movie that really made me say, like,
I love most superhero movies, I think. I mean, I'm a huge nerd, so.
Well, you're talking. Everybody in this fucking call is a nerd. What are you talking about?
But I mean, I'm
Josh is
a
a
Marvel
nerd.
nerd, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't really consider myself a Marvel nerd. I'd consider myself more of a Star
I
Wars
love
nerd.
the X-Men movies, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I usually give the benefit of the doubt. I actually liked Apocalypse. A lot of people didn't like that movie. But Dark
I
Phoenix
loved
was, like,
Apocalypse.
yeah, it was great. I loved it. But Dark Phoenix was offensive. Like, I can't even like. I'm like reluctant to even say spoiler warning because like nobody should watch it. Like, it's like actually that bad. Like,
Oh
the pacing is awful.
Was it as
Like,
bad as American Horror Story Apocalypse?
That's rough. That's rough. I wish I could rant about that, but I don't think Julian has any context as to
I really don't.
that show.
I hate to
But
say it, but
that's also an awful show or awful season. The show's great, but
American Horror Story is on my radar of things I should watch. It seems that IMDb and Metacritic both agree with you saying, because IMDb gave this a score of 5.8.
which one?
X-Men Dark
X-Men?
Phoenix.
Yeah, no.
And Metacritic gave it a score of 43 out of 100. So it's pretty bad.
Anybody with half a brain, like, I'm so sorry if I'm offending somebody, but come on, guys. Anybody, like, tell me what was good about the movie. There were like 2 scenes with Magneto, and like that was basically the best scenes, and like that's it.
The
Like,
scene where
it took, to give you guys some context. Like, I don't know if you guys both watched it, but it takes place like in one day, and it's like the girl Jean Grey turns into Phoenix, and then she like freaks out and then kills Mystique, and then she like basically becomes good again and fights these aliens, and then dies
Did any of this happen in
by
the
turning
comic
into a
books?
bird.
Let me ask you a question.
Really,
Rise.
in that way at all.
Let me ask you a question,
Like-
guys, because you're the comic book expert out of all of us. I read my fair share of comic books, but nowhere near as much as you did. Did any of that happen in the comic books?
Well, okay. Here's the interesting thing about that movie is like there's actually Game Theory made a really great film theory out of it, right? And he talked about basically that I think it was like legal issues with the MCU because I think they were trying to use the scrolls, which by the way, it wasn't even the scrolls that Jean Grey Jean Grey in the comic books when she turns into Dark Phoenix, she ends up going to like another planet and starts like fucking destroying the planet. And like basically like so that's what the aliens they were trying to base it off of in this movie. But the thing is they like rushed everything and I guess they reshot stuff, so they just had these random shape-shifting aliens that were supposed to be like those aliens, but actually in reality I think they were trying to make them the scrolls. This sounds so nerdy. I'm so sorry, but yeah, so basically it was the most random, not interesting shit in the world. And no, Jean Grey never killed freaking Mystique, and like none of that ever happened. Maybe in like a new one that I don't know of, but I think they were trying to base it off of Dark Phoenix, and they failed god awfully.
That answers my question. That really
It
does
was
answer my
so-
question.
It was just so hard to watch. Like, you know what I mean?
Sounds
Like, I
shit.
really give benefit. It's so bad, Josh. Like, it's so bad. Like, we were like I give the benefit of the doubt a lot of the times with movies, and like yeah, me and my dad we just like and Sky, and we were just like, wow, that was awful. Like it was worse than X-Men 3, which is known to be like the worst. You know, Last Stand.
Yeah,
Like, everyone knows it's like the worst movie. But
well,
it's, like,
I mean, there's been a lot of shitty X-Men movies.
true.
I-
X-Men Origins and Last Stand are kind of like known to be the worst, right?
You know what I did really, really appreciate though? Like I've been with X-Men thick and thin of just like their best movies and their worst movies.
Mhm.
If I'd have to say that here's the thing, not very many of them are very memorable to me. In fact, I remember watching the first 3 X-Men movies a super long time ago. I'm probably going to watch them again. But the only my 2 favorite movies are the standalone Wolverine movies of Wolverine and Logan. Like
Those are absolutely amazing. I agree.
Wolverine, I think, kind of showed us just like a different side of Wolverine, the side that
Yeah, I
wasn't-
mean that's actually based
it
off
filled
of the
in-
comic.
It filled in the gap. I knew about the Silver Samurai before I knew about before I saw that movie, and I knew like that at one point they were friends and kind of the backstory of what happened. But that movie was like a good movie of just like a different. It was a side story definitely to what happened, but I feel like Logan really made me really. It made me sad yet happy at the same time because that movie was a swan song to both Sir
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart and I can't. I almost said I almost said Mark Wahlberg. I'm a fucking retard.
What?
No.
Wait,
No.
Julian, what did you think of Dark Phoenix though? Like, what's your opinion on it?
You know what? I thought it was like your average superhero movie, and that's its main problem. Is average.
Oh man, that show's offensive. That's the best word I can find for it. Is like it like,
Offensive?
but especially after Logan. Are you kidding me? You know, it's like it's
Yeah.
just offensive. It's like, why would you release this?
They're doing.
Like,
You know what it is? I feel like Fox is just doing like a really shitty job of making good X-Men movies. And you know what? You know who I blame a lot of it on? I blame it on Disney buying out the Marvel fucking brand without
true.
buying up the rest of Marvel.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we don't have a lot of time left because we seriously don't want to create an hour and a half podcast.
Yeah.
So, to kind of give off a couple of last notes, I'll let Josh talk after this. That way he can get in his fill of talking about shitty movies. But this, I feel like Logan really was a swan song to Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, who we both know are never going to play. They're going to have Hugh Jackman do cameos as Wolverine and stuff like that. But Patrick Stewart, unfortunately, will never be Professor X again. And he did such an amazing job as him. And it made me sad to see him go, but at the same time, it made me happy that they gave him this amazing send-off in a truly magnificent movie. Like, Logan is probably the best X-Men movie ever made. In my opinion.
Here's the thing though, right? Is I think it's an amazing, beautiful Oscar-winning
You better
film.
not say X2.
But no. I think, dude, X-Men: Days of Future Past is one of the best superhero films in general. Like, it's up there with Endgame. I'm sorry, like, people are sleeping on that movie.
X-Men
It's
Days of
amazing.
Future Past is amazing. But here's-
Both the young and older cast, fucking Wolverine time traveling. Hello, like, why are people sleeping on this movie?
Rise, your voice just sounded like a robot.
Oh god. Yeah, no,
What
there's some audio issues that we have to work out in the next one, but we just wanted to get to a point where our voice wasn't doubling up like last time.
Oh shit, my bad.
No, it's all right. It's probably on Discord's end just because of like bad connections and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I would agree with you that Days of Future's Past is slept on, but I would not say that it's better than Logan.
Okay, Logan's not really like an X-Men movie. You get what I mean?
That's why it's
I'm speaking from like a comic book person.
Guys,
perspective.
I
You
actually
get what I mean?
saw Logan. Guys, I actually saw Logan
We all did.
a
We
while
saw
ago. I think I saw it with Julian, didn't I?
we saw it all at the same. Oh wait, no. You know what? Rise wasn't there when we saw Logan.
I
It
saw it
was
with my dad.
yeah. Rise wasn't here when
Logan was like kind of depressing for me.
I cried.
Logan was a
wow.
depressing movie. It
Sad.
was me, Josh.
It's the same thing. Okay, this is the same difference that I'm talking about Joaquin's Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker. Like, I love Joaquin's a better like actor. It's like just better, but I
cried.
preferably want to watch Heath Ledger. You get what I mean? So it's like that same kind of thing for me with Logan and Days of Future Past. It's like I love Logan, and it was like definitely a better movie. But which one am I gonna pop in to like watch and have fun, like a superhero movie? You know what I mean?
I know
Have
what
to
you
watch
mean.
Days of Future Past. So I'm not discrediting Logan by all means. I cried. I didn't cry during Days of
I
Future
cried.
Past. You
I
know,
cried.
it's like, but I cried in Logan. You know, it was beautiful.
I didn't
it was
cry.
Amazing.
I'm sorry.
I fucking cried, bro. I was like, this is so fucking sad. Because I mean, yeah, like Hugh Jackman and Logan forever. You know, it's like it's just crazy.
It is crazy. Like it was just an amazing movie.
Also, same way with Endgame and Avengers 1. Like, I think, like, okay, this is gonna piss off a lot of people, but I preferably, like, I still think Avengers 1 is the best Avengers to an extent. Like, Endgame is amazing, and it's so fucking cool, and I like, in some ways, it's, like, better. It, like, has more scenes than, you know, Avengers 1 that's better. But, you know what I mean? Nothing, like, it's just, Avengers 1 is so fun. It's like, just so fun. Whenever you watch it, like just their chemistry when they first meet each other, and like I don't know, I just love that movie. And it's I guess you could say it's nostalgia, but yeah, I don't know.
I feel a bit of nostalgia for Avengers 1. But I do want to let Josh talk about a shitty movie if he does want to talk about it. If he doesn't, that's fine.
Sense.
Let me think.
Like, just
Wait, Julian,
So-
what?
No, right, sorry, go.
Julian,
I'm gonna finish off on this shitty movie because I have to.
which was yours again? Lighthouse?
The Lighthouse. I'm gonna rant about this one for just a little bit after you finish, Josh, because this is something that needs to be talked about so badly. And if you guys can do me a favor, you need to experience the same torture that I did of watching. What you have to. I'm sorry.
There's so many
There's
good
only-
movies I want to watch. Like,
There's
I'm
only
sorry.
one way to see how terrible The Lighthouse is, and that's to watch it.
Okay.
So, but you can talk about it. I want you to talk about a movie of your own, just because, like, how do I put this? I'm a connoisseur of shitty movies. No, I'm not. I'd rather not watch a shitty movie. I'd rather watch like a really good movie.
Oh, what about shitty horror? We watched that a bunch.
We have
I've watched tons of shitty horror.
this movie is a shitty horror movie. Is the
Oh,
problem?
Josh, you know what? You know what's like honestly the worst that we watched recently?
What?
What's that one movie on Netflix? It's like called The
Fucking-
Silent or something with
The
like
S-
killer bats.
The
It was
Silence.
awful.
We saw
Wait,
that
what
at
is it
my
called?
house.
What is it
Oh
called?
yeah, that was so bad.
The Siren. Yeah. No, yeah, Julian. Yeah, dude. Do you remember that? What was that called? The Siren.
No, the Silence or whatever.
That shit was horrible. It
It
wasn't
was
even like
so
horrible.
bad.
horror. It was just like boring and awful, and the ending made no sense. It was just so weird.
It was like
Why did he have a
it
bow?
was-
It doesn't make any sense.
The ending, yeah, I remember the ending now.
the ending was
Like,
so
who
Is it
released
shitty.
that?
over?
Is
Who
like
thought that was okay?
who thought?
Venom's okay. If you want to talk about some bad movies, Venom's a pretty bad movie.
Venom was
Venom
bad,
was
like
Venom was
the Silence
pretty
was
shitty.
horrible.
The Silence
But you're
was
right,
so
it's like a
bad.
blockbuster.
You know what it was? It's a not blockbuster collection. It's like
That's true.
Transmorphers or Atlantic Rim. It's on that same level of just you
What
couldn't
is?
come up.
Venom?
No, The Silence. It's just that level of
Yeah, The
you
Silence.
couldn't come up with an original idea, so you literally copied the other guy who did it right.
It's a Netflix movie.
It's
At the
like
end of the day.
it's like if I were to create a movie called The King of Bracelets, and it was just like the soundtrack from Lord of the Rings, but instead of
Lord.
it was in F minor, and then instead of
What?
the main character being named Frodo, he'll be named Frago.
Dumbo.
It'd be the exact same thing, just with some slight alterations. Oh, and instead of like the one ring to rule them all, it's the 4 bracelets that will conquer the universe. Like, it's so bad. It's such a blatant ripoff that there is no way to enjoy it. And I'm sorry to Shane Van Dyke and Carrie Van Dyke, but you guys suck at writing.
What? How do you know the writers?
I'm looking at the Google page for it.
Oh.
Yeah. It's your
So-
shitty movie. Was it Venom? You're putting in Venom?
Josh, you still there?
Hello?
Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
sorry. Yeah. I mean, Venom wasn't like
You're
that
admitting
bad.
Venom.
Venom's like a movie.
But
Venom was also
I'm
in
gonna
theaters,
submit it.
so that was
Just-
kind of.
because it's like, yeah, it's a in theaters film, and it's just like, what? I was just like
Dude,
confused.
we
We
are
are Venom.
Just
What?
like so, just eh,
You and me at the same time.
Venom is like one of those movies where Venom is one of those movies where you have to watch it at home.
It's
to
just like
enjoy it.
not fun. It's like I don't like this. It's
Tough
like,
by
I
watching
don't
it twice
like
in a row.
watching this.
Bland, mediocre movies, in my opinion, are somehow worse than like really shitty movies that you can
Yeah, they are.
enjoy. So, now it's time for my rant on The Lighthouse. Oh God, is this movie so fucking terrible?
Oh,
I've
God.
never. I tried to like this
Julian
movie.
regrets
I
the 2
really
hours.
did. No, you know what it was? So this movie is 4 hours long.
What?
Way.
4 hours.
No
And it is
way.
awful. It stars Willem Dafoe in it, and I like him.
Yeah, he's great.
It's only 3 actors, and one of them doesn't show up till the very end until it's a fucking sex scene. It's so fucking terrible. I hate it so much.
What is?
I would
what is
rather
the, like,
have a buffalo take
What
a
is the name of it,
shit
Julian?
on
What
my
is-
fucking
what is the
mouth
name of it?
right after I ate a plate of sushi.
Julian, I'm trying to search it up. What is the name of it?
It's called The Lighthouse. Oh, and you know how I said it's 4 hours? It's closer to 2 hours. But it feels like 4 when you're sitting there watching 2 men jerk off on each other.
Did they actually jerk off though?
Yes!
That's horrible.
It's so fucking terrible.
That's pretty gross.
I wanted to like this movie because I like weird art house type of movies. I like weird shit in movies. I fucking love Blade Runner. I absolutely love
Wait,
the mind.
what? I don't understand. Is it
Blade
what
Runner's
genre is this?
It's
It's a drama,
It's-
right?
it's a drama, fantasy, horror, and mystery, but they're forgetting a genre in there. Bad.
Fun.
It's not even fun. I would be okay if this movie was somehow so terrible it was good to laugh at. This movie is a 0 out of 10 in every fucking way possible. It's not enjoyable, it's not edited properly, it's in fucking 4:3, which makes me feel like I'm playing a shitty PS2 game. Ah! It's terrible. It is terrible in every fucking way possible, and I spent 2 hours watching it.
Oh,
I picked this movie for movie night, and I regret it so much because it is so fucking shitty you have no idea. And why Amazon Prime would have the audacity to make you buy it for $5 is insane. This movie isn't worth 5 cents. If I were to pay a nickel to watch this movie, I'd be pissed off. This is the shittiest movie I've ever seen. Hands down.
Fuck.
Anyways, that's my rant
Well.
on The Lighthouse. I felt like that needed to be said.
Yes, sir.
So, with
Well, I
that,
think that wraps it, right?
I think that wraps it up. You saw me get angry for a little while.
Okay,
That's
can I at least? What happens in the movie that makes it so bad? Like, I don't understand.
You know what happens? Nothing happens. That's the problem. It'd be interesting if something
What is it
happened.
about? I don't understand what it's about. Is it just about a lighthouse?
So, 2 lighthouse keepers try to maintain their sanity whilst living on a remote, mysterious New England island in the 1890s. That's the description of it. You know what happens? 2 drunken idiots walk around a fucking island managing a lighthouse, and then one jerks off on the other, and then another goes inside of a closet and jerks off, and then that guy who just jerked off in a closet fucks a mermaid, kills the other guy, and then movie ends.
Oh my god. That's so weird.
You know how time seems to slow down when you're doing something that you really don't like and is really boring? Well, that's what happened. It felt like I was watching this movie for 4 hours. It was
Mad.
2 hours.
That's jokes.
I swear, this is the worst movie that I've ever seen. And what pisses me off is that it's a 7.7 on IMDb, an 83 on Metacritic, and it got nominated for an Oscar.
Wow.
Who liked this?
Apparently, a lot of people.
If it's black and white, it's good.
If it's art house,
I actually kind of want to see it now.
if you watch it, and tell you what, if you watch it, I'll give you $5
Okay, now I'm definitely watching it.
I'll give you $5 to watch this movie.
Not only may it be good, but it may also be like super bad or super good, which is like good either way. And I'm gonna get paid. All right, I'm definitely watching it.
You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll pay you $5
Julian doesn't pay.
if I can come over to your house and sit in the other room and not watch this movie while you watch the entire thing on your own. Because there's no way in hell I'm watching this movie ever again.
Yeah, I don't want to watch a dude jerk off on another guy with y'all.
There is no reason to watch this movie unless you like the stories in gay pornos. There's no other way to watch this movie other than that. Because that's literally what this movie is. It's literally just a black and white, oddly ratioed gay porno with a shitty lighthouse story over it. And it doesn't even do the gay porno properly because one of the guys fucks a woman. What the actual fuck? Nothing about this movie is good. The only thing that made me kind of like it was that they went for this weird, mysterious aspect where in the trailers they said you're not supposed to kill a seabird because one of them tries to kill a fucking seagull. And I thought it was going to be like a weird kind of curse movie where they would be fighting off some kind of demon or something like that. Nothing happens. They sit around and get drunk half the time. I swear to God, whoever wrote this movie was drunk. Who the hell is this guy? Nick Reganis. He wrote a shit ton of movies. He wrote 10 Cloverfield Lane. What the fuck? Who writes this shit? I swear to God, he was one of the writers in 1917. How does a guy who creates such a shitty movie work on some really good shit that I actually like? I'm so pissed off. This movie made me pissed off. And I don't get pissed off at movies because I saw the Emoji Movie. I saw the Emoji Movie with Rise. He was there when I watched it. That movie, I didn't talk through it because it was bad. But it was like on another level of bad where you don't want to interrupt it and you don't want to make fun of it. It's like picking on the retarded kid, going, "What are you, retarded? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry."
Jesus Christ.
This movie is just shit. It is fecal matter. Do you know how they made the DVDs for this? They had to make it out of taking orangutan diarrhea and crystallizing it into a disc shape. Turns out that was the only material shitty enough to hold a shitty movie like this.
Alright, let's, I think that about settles it.
Don't
watch The Lighthouse.
Do not watch The Lighthouse. Whatever you do, don't watch The Lighthouse. And if you do feel the need to watch it, pirate it. Don't give these assholes any more money than they already made for making this.
Alright.
I'm fucking pissed.
We need a nice long break after this.
Yeah, let's play some Battlefront 2. Let's laugh our asses off at something else.
Yeah.
Anyways,
right.
I'm a little bit more calmed down. I got my anger out. Ah, God, that was shitty. Thank you all so much for listening to our podcast. I know I went on a rant. I feel I owe some of our younger viewers an apology. All of that stuff that was said was meant, but somewhat over-exaggerated. I stick by my guns of saying do not watch The Lighthouse. It's bad. It's bad. It's really fucking
Let
bad.
us know in the comments what you think is the worst movie that you watched.
Yes,
And, I'll be
please.
interested to see them.
Please do that. That sound was Josh leaving and joining the.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave. That was an accident.
He left and then
Josh
came
was
back
left
for a
in silence.
second. I don't know what happened, but don't make fun of him for it. I'll be leaving a link to both Josh's and Rise's channel in the description down below so that you can check out some of their content. Rise is an amazing musician, and Josh is a really, really good filmmaker. So definitely check them out. They're both amazing content creators, and so far this is the coolest thing that I've ever done.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. Don't throw yourself under the bus so much.
So
Sophie's great.
if you enjoyed the podcast, leave us a like, and comment what's a really shitty movie that you think everybody should avoid at all cost, or a movie that you think is actually really good or underrated or shitty yet somehow super enjoyable. I know for a
I
fact.
want to see a war in the comments.
Yeah, start a fight in the comments, like an actual fist fight. Type emojis of fists bashing each other. But
Yes.
Rise, anything you want to say for the end of our first
that
podcast?
Sounds good to me. That sounds good. Yeah, just tune in next time.
Josh?
Keep on listening,
Okay.
or else.
Okay.
And more importantly, thank you all so much. Have a nice day.